You have the rundown, na? You have the rundown. When we have the vox pops, hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. This is your platform where you can engage with us as we talk about different issues, and you can post us your comments. Of course, send us your audio and video comments, and of course, tweet us at @IndiaPostLive, and our hashtag is IndiaPostLive. Today, we are throwing up an issue to all of you, which I'm sure will elicit a lot of reactions, and I want those reactions coming in because it is time. Such issues were really brought out, and we voiced our opinion on that. And we are going to talk about objectifying women. Now, be it television, be it newsstands, be it movies, be it advertisements, be it calendars, women are objectified in a manner so as to please men visually. Am I right or am I wrong? Well, these are comments that I want from all of you, your tweets, your posts. Now, we are specifically in this segment going to discuss a trend which in fact has been doing the rounds on Twitter, reactions to it, and that is the video game called GTA, or Grand Theft Auto. Now, that has a code, and the code has been developed by players themselves and hackers themselves that allow players to rape each other. I'm talking about virtual rape in a video game. Now, we will first discuss that before we move to a broader issue of objectifying women. I have with me in the studio Dominic Arunesudas. He is a cybercrime expert. Thank you so much, Dominic. And of course, Anant Gupta. Anant is director with A New Dimension, that's a production house, and he's also been in the advertising industry. I also have with me online the Vice President of EDWA Delhi, Maimoona Mullah. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Our first segment is on GTA, and who better than Dominic than to tell me about it? Tell us about this game. It has been, it's of course, it's an online game. There are players from all over the world, but even in India, GTA is very popular.
Yes.
So this entire aspect of virtual rape, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So first and foremost, why is it so famous? The reason with that is the beauty of internet. One of the black sides of internet is anonymity. You can be anybody on the virtual world.
Yes.
And at that point, you can show some of your behavior patterns which you may not necessarily show when you are out in the broader
society, real society.
In your house, in your college, at your workplace, with your family members, even with your friends, even probably with the kind of people whom you may not necessarily like. You will have a certain sort of a personality. You keep it calm and composed.
It's a mask. You're wearing a mask.
Everybody wears a mask, right? But on the online world, you can be anything, anybody, claim to be anybody, anything, and hence, if this is something that is offered, there would be most of the youngsters might show this, which actually reflects violence.
Yeah, because this is basically playing out your perversions, Anant. GTA is about looting. GTA, Grand Theft Auto, is about stealing, and now it's about rape.
Sorry to add, one of the movies that you have, like Torque, that's also to do with cars and theft of cars and the thrill with speed. On the virtual world, since you cannot depict that in a movie, they have also brought in this concept of virtual rape, right?
Anant, you were saying something.
I was just thinking, will it, help in, bringing out more and more of, irritation, frustration, as in you were saying, as Dominic is saying, we have a mask, which is hidden outside in the social area. However, it is, more open, and it is more evident to, people who are not even visible across. So the question lies with the Dominic, like, how do you think, like, it can actually, like, make people much more violent, as the question of violence is also increasing it?
The game includes offensive language, which is
Absolutely.
sometimes.
But this is not the only game that
racist.
offers offensive languages.
Please shed more light on this.
There are several games out there to do with warfare, to do with flying, to do with even building houses, concepts, where you are allowed to use very openly the best of abusive words that's possible.
But no, but we are talking of women here. We are talking
case-
of the word rape. Now, rape signifies a sexual violence.
But you will be so shocked and surprised to learn that even the players, most of them are women players. Right? And in that case,
GTA is played mostly by women. Is that what?
No.
Yeah.
How would you identify who?
Yeah, exactly. How
right?
would you identify?
So it's anonymous.
Exactly.
So a lot of girls, especially in advanced countries like Japan, Korea, even probably in the US and Europe, you will have women players out there really offering thrill for speed with this game, and they might opt for these options because the darker shade comes out on the virtual world, and nobody would know who's on the other side. Right? Which country, which race, what gender. So how do you identify that?
Okay, let's okay, you can see some. We were just seeing some images there of course, the game. But okay, let me bring Maimoona Molla online with us. Ma'am, we were talking about this virtual rape and in this particular video game, but rape is a sexual violence on a woman. But the way rape is being used, the way rape is being flouted, the way rape is out there for everyone to see, for everyone to experience. I mean, those images are quite graphic. Some of them have been pulled down. In fact, from the Huffington Post article also, the images have been pulled down, but I'm sure they exist in cyberspace somewhere for those of us who are not players also. Ma'am, your first comments, your first thoughts on this kind of a trend that hackers are using in online games?
Well, first, can you hear me?
I can, ma'am. Please go on.
Yeah, actually, you've thrown up a lot of issues while you were talking.
Yes.
Yeah, first is it's not just rape in games. Actually, what you're saying is through games, now rape is sought to be enjoyed. Games are for enjoyment. Games are for entertainment. So what you're saying is now there are games to rape, which means one is enjoying rape, or you are offering games which help you enjoy yourself through rape. And if I say this is shocking, that would be an understatement. I mean, I'm shocked beyond words. Today I went to Huffington Post, and of course I saw that the videos are not there. But coming from Dominic, that it's like you can't find out who the players are, who's made it and who's using it. I mean, while to some extent that is true, that when, for example, A plays the game with B, you do not know who A is and who B is.
Absolutely.
But if you make it out into a crime, which it is, now it's criminalization of internet games, isn't it? And if you look at it as a crime in games, I'm sure Dominic will tell you that you can track down such people. You can, it is possible.
Can you, Dominic?
So there are two aspects to this.
Yeah.
One, is it criminal? It is not.
Why are you saying it is not?
One, it's a...
Of course it is. Of course it
The
is.
servers are physically located in US. The players are somewhere in India. Who will come, based on what complaint will you identify which person? Identifying a person for law enforcement AG might be easy with IP addresses, but even there, somebody needs to complain, somebody needs to track down, somebody needs to know that this person is playing and this rape is going on right now in a virtual world where the victim is hosted physically in US. There are servers in Iceland, there are servers in remote places. How do you manage?
So the
this?
legality of it, ma'am, that's what Dominic is trying to say. But Dominic, the worst part is you can actually record this virtual rape in case you are the stronger person, and you can upload it on YouTube. I mean, you can actually do that,
But
Anand.
is it possible to track it? Like, that's what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
that's what I want to know.
So
Huh.
when you have to identify someone, it is through IP addresses,
Right.
right? So
That
since-
can be masked, or that you can use proxy
not
server.
necessarily, of course. Even for there is a solution to that. But this game is typically virtual.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Hence, there is an IP address to the computer. Now, if the gaming company or the one who is hosting the whole thing, if they have put in measures to block the IP addresses and mask it and stop enforcement agents to track it down, then that's an international phenomenon. You will have to cooperate with various countries and then track it down. But first, if it's a banned notion, if this game is banned,
See, you don't get it out of the box. When you open the box, this element is not there. You have some hackers creating a code. You get hold of the code, and when you
Yes.
get the code, you can
Cheat sheet.
do this virtual rape.
Yeah, so the point here is, even if the enforcement agency comes to know that there is something like this,
Right.
they will take several hours to several days to track this down.
Okay.
And a programmer or hacker, as you call it, will take less than 1 hour to remove the traces and remove the code from the whole game.
Are we trying to say that?
Like,
This is-
it only helps in, like,
Yeah.
increasing the rapes and, like, people, like, getting used to it.
So
actually.
they move from this game to some other game and they copy paste the same codes there. And this feature of rape is applicable to some other game and not necessarily this game.
So that means, like, it can also be copied on other social sites,
Why
as you're
not?
mentioning, yeah? On YouTube.
So, no,
on
the
You
virtual-
don't seem very disturbed, please.
Not at all.
You're not disturbed at this trend?
No.
Dominic, it's horrible. You're
Because first, in India, most players, the online gaming is not prominent the way it is prominent in Japan.
all right.
South
Ma'am
Korea,
has
and other
something to
places.
say. Ma'am has something to
Yes.
say. Yeah.
I'm really shocked for more than one reason.
Yeah.
One, that such games have come up, and the other, that people like Dominique are not shocked about it. I mean, I'm outraged. And to say that it's so difficult to track, and
But
hence
it is. It is.
hence it is difficult, but it's not impossible.
Then I
You
think
know,
she should
those-
lead the whole initiative.
It does, and suo motu action can be taken and should be taken. I mean, are we seeking to criminalize gaming itself? Are we going to do that? Are we going to teach our boys and girls to indulge in such activities? Don't you think it is going to increase incidents of such activities?
So let's take an example.
In reality,
All right. Yeah.
She is saying XYZ things which probably might be offensive. And I want to pin her down. But the Skype servers are hosted in some remote parts of Europe. So how do I get access to the evidence? How do you do that?
No, but you are not.
The very reason that government of India couldn't track out BlackBerry conversations because BlackBerry offers enterprise servers which is hosted not in this country. Hence, terrorists could communicate with each other, right? Of course, BlackBerry, the situation
But
with them
you
is
are-
but definitely you should be able to. There have to be laws. If there aren't any, we have to move towards making laws.
Yeah. That is what.
And to that,
Dominic.
law will never ever in this lifetime or the lifetime of human beings catch up with technology, ever. You make one law in 1 year,
We are going the man versus machine way, are we, Dominic?
you make one law in 1 year and technology is 100 times ahead of that. Then you make another law to counter that and new technology comes on board. So what do you do with that? Law is not the answer. The answer lies in individual choices that they make and what they do about it. You cannot curb the internet because then the war cry would be the government of any nation is trying to block freedom of the internet.
All right, so this is a very, very contentious issue and we have raised it, and I would request all of you who are watching indiapostlive.com to please send us your comments about this particular thing. Dominic, you have not, unfortunately, you have not painted a very
Rosy picture.
rosy picture.
If it was
Anand-
such a rosy picture, we would be smiling and talking about it. Right?
However, it is quite scary, yeah.
It is scary, and the fact that virtual rapes are being designed, and that. and-
Again, like you only mentioned,
Yes.
this is not part of the original game.
Yes, somebody
Right?
is doing it.
Yes.
So isn't it a cyber crime? Somebody is designing an online rape. Isn't it a
In
cyber
that
crime?
case, you have to check who the individual is and that individual, the country that the person resides in, what is the cyber law in that nation,
Yeah.
and if this aspect is included in that cyber law. Otherwise, add that aspect to the cybercrime, but by then the people will
All right.
move out the servers.
All right, so what the question we're asking all of you is what should be done to ensure that these things are treated like a cybercrime, and probably what can be done in Indian cyber laws to do that. Dominic, thank you so much for joining us on this segment and talking about it. I think we raised a very important issue, and now we are going to show you what people out there on the streets think about the way the word rape is actually become a trending topic to, to kind of talk of having power over another person and not just a sexual violence on women. Let's take a look at that.
So do you think the word rape is being misused these days?
Definitely it is being misused by the people and it should not be used.
It's kind of a bad thing. We use it in this way, like in sports.
England, rape, India or something like that. It does not have any literal meaning for that.
We expect today's generation to bring change to our country, but today's generation is mostly using these words as a casual words.
Actually, nowadays the rape cases are increasing day by day. That's why the rape word is used more often.
People are using this word as, just for fashion or like style thing. I hear people saying that तुरंत joke का rape कर दिया and all that stuff. So this is not the way we should use the word.
ये रेप इन दिनों इस चीज़ को ऐसे लोग अपने यूज़ कर रहे हैं जैसे पता नहीं ये मिल क्या गया लोगों को.
This word should not be used. If you want to express your view, try to explain in a good way, not using this particular words.
People are very broad-minded, so they can use the word in which way they feel like. We can't control them.
We should think about those victims who have suffered it, and it's a big thing for all of them and for their families as well.
I don't think the word rape should be used in slangs even, because it's gonna be picked up by other people as well, maybe like children as well.
I guess rape is not for games, for fun. It's a very serious topic.
From today onwards, when I am standing here, I take this oath that I'm not going to use this word again for in any kind of conversation.
All right, so those were people out there talking about the whole notion of rape and how it is more about power, Anant, more about...
Absolutely. It's not only about power, it's all about getting the mindsets right, in case if they get very much open, then obviously rape is even a more open word for
right. And now in fact Dominic kind of shocked us all by saying that there is really no solution to the virtual rape element of the Grand Theft Auto online game, and now I'm joined in the studio by Paras Khurana. Paras is a member, a core team member of Old Delhi Films, also known as ODF. They have done some wonderful work on women's issues, and we will of course be towards the end of the show showing a little film that they have made that talks about violence on women and the whole patriarchal approach to this problem, right? We are going to talk about that. For those of you who have just joined us, we are talking about objectifying women and how rape has almost become fashionable. I'm also joined online by another online member of ODF, and he is Dishant Nagpal. Dishant, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Now let me get back to Anant. I think Anant was a bit too shocked at the whole GTA virtual rape thing, and the way Dominic was saying that, it is a huge problem, but unless there are cyber laws in place where countries are cooperating with each other, nothing can be done. So I think right now we'll let you speak. Tell us about your thoughts. You have been into advertising. The way women are portrayed out there.
Well, I have a very different, thought process.
Please.
Thing is, when you see a woman, there's an impact of, showcase of a woman in the mindsets. And advertising is done on the basis of a product. However, a woman who tends to come across, she's a subject to the product. So she's not being objectified. So she takes her choices particularly. However, I believe that GTA is a very different subject than...
Absolutely. We are talking of the overall scenario of objectifying.
However, I feel that is not the content of taking up of women into the form of objectivity.
Anand, let me ask you a very simple question. If a woman wants to use a particular perfume or a particular shampoo, why does she have to be made in a particular way and have a certain vital statistics for that woman to come on television?
Okay. Suppose in case if it's a deo, it can be only smell. It can be only smell, right? There's a product by the name of any XYZ company which is trying to impress other gender. A woman tends to get attracted by a fragrance. So automatically there is a sense of understanding, okay, in case if there's a fragrance, you tend to feel the fragrance, right? So there's no objectivity. There's only a product selling through ensuring that the other gender is understanding the fragrance.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is exactly that. A woman with not so perfect bodies can also wear a lovely perfume, can be attractive to the opposite sex, or can be attracted to the opposite sex as well. Ma'am, could I have your opinion on that, please? Maimuna ma'am?
Yeah, you are right about that. But the point is, this is not only in the advertising world. Definitely in the advertising world, they do have a woman showcased even where it is not necessary.
Such as?
In any ad, you will see a scantily clad woman going around. I mean, in a cement ad, for example. So that is.
I knew that comment. I knew that. Okay.
But my question is, it's not just the ad world. I'm sorry if I raise the question, and I'm not sorry if I raise the question about the media itself. Now, in media, tell me how many media houses are such that they are not concerned about the woman anchor going live without a makeup. She has to look good, right? So that looking good part about a woman, objectification of a woman, is there right in media houses? Tell me how, excuse me, how many media houses have a committee against sexual harassment as per Vishakha guidelines in their organization? Tell me, how many media houses do that?
Okay, you've raised a very big issue, but let me just clarify on the women anchors having to wear makeup bit. It is only so that there are very strong lights in the studio and so that the face doesn't look washed out. It's only to give a certain depth. I'm also wearing a little bit of makeup now, and that's only so that I look like a human being in front of the camera and not like an alien. Trust me, ma'am, if I went without makeup on this show, I would look horrible. And even my two guests, even Anant and even Paras, they did go through touch-ups only so that their faces don't look washed out in these bright lights. Trust me, ma'am, it's not really so much about objectifying us. We are raising issues, but that's just a... are you saying something, Dishant? Dishant? Please repeat that.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, we go through touch-ups. It's only because of the lights.
Yeah, it's only because of the lights, ma'am.
We are from the film
industry, we know already.
We know we have to go through touch-ups, and on the camera you need to look, as you say, you shouldn't look like an alien. Nah? So obviously actors go through touch-ups.
Yeah, so that is not so much about objectifying, but I'm talking of a larger issue of where women are somehow portrayed to please men.
Somehow, it is fine.
Why?
The reason it is fine is, suppose in case if it's a, to be, very open, let's take, in case if it's a condom ad, right? We have seen, a lot of girls, being, going across, expressing the pleasure of, having the sexual experience with the specific product.
Okay.
So, in that ad, you have to have, specific, belongings altogether. Obviously you are trying to sell a condom trying to sell a condom where you have a beautiful girl, a man, and trying to ensure they are trying to have a proper
a good time
at a place. Place can be private, however that private place is becoming public through an ad.
Right.
Why public? Is only to sell a specific product.
Right.
So in that case, a woman is not being objectified. It's a couple's game.
Okay, let's move beyond the condom ad now. I've had enough of condom ad, discussing condoms. Anything else, any other thing. In fact, Paras, let me just ask you one question very clearly. Yeah. These ads, they give women these unrealistic expectations of how their bodies should be, what they should look like. I know teenagers who have stopped eating. Teenagers who have becoming bulimic, who are anorexic, they don't eat because so-and-so looks like that, because Karina looks like that, size 0. Those, I'm talking of that issue. I'm talking of the way women are being objectified in that aspect. And also, to many women, it gives you a diminished feeling of dignity. I'm sure Maimoona ma'am will agree with me on that. To many women, when you showcase women like that, it gives women a diminished feeling of dignity and unrealistic expectations of what their bodies should look like. You don't feel good about who you actually are.
That's very right of you to say that. And I'll just not stay restricted to ads. Take it to Bollywood. Take it to music videos. Why are the rappers or the singers in music videos are wearing full clothes?
Dancing with half-naked women.
Half-naked.
Absolutely.
They don't have... Singing is the job of the person who is in the middle. But why are half-naked women dancing around? And it's not their fault. It's not their fault because it is appealing to the masses. This is the mindset of the people from this beginning. We research a lot on this topic, on patriarchy, on how women are objectified in the society, and it's from the beginning, since childhood, it is feeded into our mind ke films mein, and in films women look like this, women behave like this, so you should behave like this.
Calendars.
Yeah, calendars. It's everywhere. So I'll just not stay restricted to ads. It's everywhere and it's a very sorry state. We have to start from the beginning. That's why we do films, we do plays, and it's just to create awareness on the fact that women need not be objectified. They are human beings. Obviously, they are human beings, so they have full right to look like what they want to. But not how the society sees them.
Dishant, you might agree, and then I'll bring ma'am in, that women don't feel like full human beings at all. When something like this happens.
Yes, it's totally true. I continue where Paras left. From the beginning, from ladkiyan hi kyun doll se khele? Why don't boys play with dolls?
No, even the doll, even the Barbie doll, the figure of the Barbie doll.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol of a girl.
She would not be able to walk if a real woman had that kind of a figure. But right from childhood, a little girl is taught that Barbie doll is perfect.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Bingo.
Ma'am. Ma'am, very quickly, the sea change that both Paras and Dishant, two young men talking about women's bodies, is wonderful, very refreshing. But your take on how this sea change can be brought out in the attitudes so that somewhere objectifying of women can cease?
Well, the sea change has to be brought out right when the girl child is in the womb. We start with female feticide, right? Then as an infant, the girl child receives much less attention in terms of health and in terms of looking after. When she goes to school, I have seen women asking their girls to do all the household work before they go to school, whereas boys are fed their tiffin wrapped and then they are sent. Girls drop out because of household problems, not boys, not so many boys. Girls have to drop out because boys stand out of their schools. Eve teasing. So the parents think कि अपनी इज्जत बहुत बड़ी चीज है, लड़की को घर में बिठा लो. There are so many reasons why girls are not able to go to school. When they have to go to college, then also boys get preference. The girls are expected to learn cooking and, be ripe for marriage. Right. So the discrimination is there all across, all over the society. And so boys feel privileged. It's not their fault, yes, but the society feeds that sense of privilege in them, and the society feeds that sense of lower self-esteem in the girls.
Right, and in fact, this is an international phenomenon, Anand.
Absolutely true. In fact, that's the reason when we started the topic of television, doing something. However, like, there are different regions, and this is actually true. Like, what ma'am is saying is absolutely true. Like, today morning also I was reading it in the newspaper that somewhere, like, a girl was, like, being thrown because of the dowry issues. How, like, this can be actually sorted out. Media is playing an important role while, like, by doing a lot of
talking of media and talking of objectifying women, I mean, the whole issue of rape, the fact that what I've been trying to say since the beginning of this show is rape is being glamorized. I'm talking of the photo shoot. Yes. Raj Shetty. I mean, you are saying horrible. He has defended it. He said he raised an issue, and he in fact said he's very happy that it debate.
He was able to get some spotlight on it.
Such an outrage. It sparked such a debate on Twitter, on Facebook, that people are actually talking about it. A model being groped by 4 other models inside a bus, which was very obviously a reference to the Nirbhaya case of 16 December 2012, and also other videos that go viral. We are going to take a look at some snapshots.
I'll just interrupt here.
Yeah, sure.
You said that he was defending. He defended later, but first of all, when the pictures were on his site, they had tags like hot, sexy, male. I read about it, and they had tags like this on his site. So was that a justification of what he said after that he wanted to raise an issue on domestic violence and rapes and stuff? But why did he do that before? And such tags were, obviously, this was objectification of women, and this was a very
glamorizing rape.
Glamorizing is a very sad way of portraying that incident, and I was very shocked to see this happening, and I felt the trauma what her family members would be going through right now. The trauma what she went through on that bus on that night. I don't think this was a very good way of showing it, and obviously he didn't claim that it was directly related to it, but pictures speak for themselves. Pictures did speak for themselves, and it was purely visible that it was the Nirbhaya case, and he might say it was covering
the fact that it was shot inside a bus.
It was shot inside.
It was covering up time later, but
he in fact even suggested that it's a Nirbhaya. However, everybody criticized him for the fact it is not to be done, and it should not have been done actually. Maybe showcasing his creative insights was not required on this topic.
See, again, Anand, you raised a very interesting point, no doubt. You said that women are shown the way they are probably because you're only selling a product. It's the job of an advertiser. However, that philosophy, somewhere there's a very thin line.
There's a very thin line in regards to understanding. That's the reason, when ma'am actually took up the subject of a woman or a girl being treated very in different ways than boys, is only for the fact there are different regions in the country. When you talk about a country like India, which is huge.
You're talking of regions, or you're talking of socio-economic strata, or are you talking
about socio-economic strata as well? And when we are talking about the data, there's huge number of people who have different kind of thoughts, different kind of thought process. How do they take that? How do they imbibe that? Is something very different. That is the way time that is the place, or that is the situation where people have to educate themselves. Whether they have to see the ad for the product, maybe they have to see the ad for this a girl, maybe they have to see the girl in an ad specifically, whatever the XYZ product is. That is the television. However, when you go to Bollywood, it's coming out to be more content oriented as well nowadays, I guess. But then still, but still, girls are being shown as a package where they have to add the glamour to the entire content of the film.
Yeah. I mean, we were discussing films like Kick. We were discussing.
You pick every second film. There's an item song. Why? It doesn't relate to the script. It is not needed in the story.
But those videos go viral.
Yeah, obviously.
The item numbers and videos where women are portrayed in a certain way.
They will, because of the mindset of the people right now. They want to see that. So the films are just cashing on the minds of the people. They want to make money. So they'll show them what they want to see.
I mean, a huge question, Dishant, when people ask when there's a film is, does it have an item number? Yeah. Is there a Malaika Arora Khan? Is there a Katrina Kaif?
Anyone for that matter, anybody.
Dishant has been quiet for quite a while. Yeah, Dishant? No, Dishant, I can't hear you. Can you unmute your audio, please?
Okay.
Yeah. You're back. Go on.
I only believe that art should be self-explanatory. It should not give any explanations to anybody. And you are talking about the films. We go to the theater, college students, I know many of my friends go to the theaters because it have a Nargis Fakri or a Malaika Roda Khan item number. It will be only entertainment in the film. Sunny Leone item number in Pink Clips in Hate Story doesn't have any connection to the story of the film, but it still have, and it got 10 lakh views, more than 10 lakh views on YouTube.
Right.
I just don't know why.
You don't. He doesn't know why.
That's a very innocent way to frame it. Just doesn't know why.
Dishant, I feel like asking you how old you are, but I won't, because Dishant and Paras have, in fact, they are the team members who have made this wonderful film called She. Am I right? She explores this entire issue of the patriarchal approach to crimes against women and violence against women. Anant, I'm sure you will also enjoy. We have the permission of Old Delhi Films to bring you this video, and after that we will wrap up the conversation with the final comments. But first, let's take a look at this video.
इंडिया में 60 करोड़ 47,83,424 लड़कियां हैं,
48.3% of this country.
पर आपके लिए ये सिर्फ एक नंबर है। क्या हमें इंसान भी समझा जाता है?
They want us to be their slaves.
They want us to be their sex objects.
They want us just like a kitchen queen.
They never want us to be free.
Patriarchy is probably the longest surviving ideology.
You don't believe me, right?
But you're a part of it.
मेरी माँ ने मुझे बोला,
कितनी उम्र हो गई है तेरी?
तू तो बड़ी हो गई है ना, लड़कियों वाली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज अभी से नहीं संभालेगी तो कैसे सीखेगी?
पर क्या थी वो लड़कियों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज? Do not wear shorts when you go out.
रात को पार्टीज में जाना बंद करो,
खाना बनाना
सीख लो,
अब ज्यादा पढ़ने की
जरूरत नहीं।
Stop saying that. किसी के मर्जी के बिना उसको छू देना।
सेक्सुअल कमेंट्स पास करना, उसके बॉडी पार्ट्स के ऊपर भद्दे-भद्दे शब्द यूज करना,
ये कोई मामूली सी टीजिंग वीजिंग नहीं है,
ये सेक्सुअल हैरासमेंट है।
पुलिस के पास जाओ तो वो पुलिस मदद नहीं करती, रिपोर्ट लिख के भी कोई एक्शन नहीं लेती।
वो तो उल्टा हमारा ही कैरेक्टर असैसिनेट करने लगता है।
उल्टा, घटिया औरत। And of course the new trending word,
slut.
Riots, killings, massacre. You know who are the soft targets? Women. They do not rape a girl for their sexual pleasures.
they rape us just to prove their dominance on our bodies and our mind.
They rape us to scar our souls. They rape us to make us weak. शादी के बाद किया गया रेप सोसाइटी की नजरों में आखिर रेप कहाँ माना जाता है? मैट्रिमोनी में लड़का चाहे जैसा भी हो, लड़की गोरी होनी चाहिए। शादी के पहले अगर लड़कों के कई सेक्सुअल रिलेशनशिप्स हों तो वो मार्टर हैं, स्टड। लेकिन शादी के बाद उन्हें लड़की तो वर्जिन ही चाहिए। तुम लड़की हो, लिमिट्स में रहो। Disgusting. We are 48.3% of this country.
जिस दिन इस देश की 60 करोड़ औरतों ने मिलकर आवाज उठाई ना, उस दिन ये पेट्रियार्की, ये पितृसत्ता जड़ से खत्म हो जाएगी, जड़ से।
अकेले आदमी भी क्या कर लेगा? आखिर उनके बिना कैसे सर्वाइव कर पाएंगे हम? We owe them. They brought us in this world. Stop generalizing. Stop gender bias.
Start a fight.
Today.
Now.
और याद रहे, an act of rebel will spark a revolution.
विरोध से ही
विद्रोह होता है।
All right, so that was, yes, applause. All right, so that was a short clip that talked of various issues that do plague Indian women, especially today. Thank you so much. That was very nicely done. In fact, Paras, I'm sure you will agree with me, and Dishant too, and Anand too, that, you know, on social media, a lot of similar endeavors have been taken to kind of, you know, address the issue of gender violence and sexual crimes on women, and the whole, you know, the gender insensitivity that society has. Several such videos, I myself have seen several videos of, you know, men, actors, you know, apologizing. We are sorry, we can only say sorry to you. And yeah, so coming up on your screens are some of those screenshots where such lovely initiatives have been taken as far as women's issues are concerned. So that's one good thing going on social media, don't you agree?
That's great. I really support it, and obviously it needs to be done.
And look at the likes, look at the number of hits, look at the number of likes. You know, people are. So probably what you talked about in the end, one act of rebel can spark a revolution.
Yeah,
Probably
will.
something.
We are hoping it will. We're striving for it.
And it is most important to partner men in this entire exercise.
Important.
It's very important to partner men. Thank you so much. We have raised a very important issue. We have tried to focus on many things, as Memuna ma'am said. We talked of an online video game where there is virtual rape. We talked of gender insensitivity. We talked of female feticide, and we talked of objectifying women in advertisements and in the media, and of course the role that media is playing and the role that social media is playing to highlight such issues. So this is a topic that is out there for you. Please write into us with your comments, your video comments and audio comments, your posts and your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and our handle @IndiaPostLive. I would like to thank you, Dishant, and congratulations to you for that short film too. Great work, great initiative. Paras, thank you so much.
I'd just like to say you can watch the full videos on our YouTube channel, Old Delhi Films. Please subscribe and share. You'll get more stuff like this on that.
Likewise, you must also share this entire conversation that we've had.
Please do share. Please do share.
Yeah, you must also share it. Thank you so much. So we're sharing each other's videos and playing our little bit. All right. Thank you so much, Anand. It was great once again having you on the conversation. The conversation continues on IndiaPostLive.com. Thanks for watching.